Thank you to our panel for some very valuable and practical insights to doing business in China. And now I am so honored to invite to the stage, and we are so fortunate to hear from Vice Chair of Policy at Ford and former U.S. Ambassador to China, Jon Huntsman. Please join me in welcoming Jon Huntsman to the stage.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm totally blown away. I just caught the last part of the breakout session, and you've heard a lot already this morning. Substance, perspective, a little bit of history, a little bit of forecasting, where we go with the U.S. China relationship. You're going to hear more this afternoon. So it's going to be really good. I'm sorry that I wasn't here earlier today. We have supply chain issues, as my daughter would say. We have supply chain issues in this country, including pilots, come to find. Not enough of them to fly us around. But I just want to extend deep thanks and gratitude, first and foremost, to the speakers who have taken time to join us here. So while on the East Coast the last couple of days, I told folks I was coming to a China conference. And they said, "Oh, at the Brookings Institute?" I said, "Nope." They said, "Oh, you mean the Council on Foreign Relations in New York City?" I said, "Nope." "Oh, it must be the one at the Center for Strategic and International Studies." "No. I'm going to UVU." Huh? Huh? So this is great. We need a new locale for new thinking. We need a new generation of people who are going to take a look at our pacing challenge of the century, which is China. So there's a reason that we're here. Not only do we love the state, not only do we love UVU, I signed the legislation when I was governor, turning this place into a university. So for me, this is a very special spot. That's back when politicians used to do stuff when they were elected. We're here for a reason. This is a new West. This is where new thinking is occurring. This is where entrepreneurship abounds. This is where new technologies are being advanced, developed, and commercialized. This is where people really care about the global environment. They want to make sense of it. Not the old think tanks, not the old conventional wisdom thinking, which we're sick and tired of. We need something new. So we thought about doing this. We didn't know what it would turn into. And we're so heartened that we have hundreds, if not 1,000 or more participants here in attendance, but also that are connected digitally. But the level of speakers that we've been able to bring here, a diverse array of folks who understand the economics, the commercial aspects of the U.S. China relationship, the political aspects of the U.S. China relationship. We've got such an excellent cross-section of professionals and experts. I hope that, just promise me this one thing. When we break out in an hour and a half, you pull out a little notepad, you take notes, you think deeply about these issues. Because here's what we're not here to do. We're not here to fall back on conventional wisdom and sound bites. So when was the last time you heard a politician, an elected person say, "China bad. China's a threat. China's the biggest challenge of the century"? Okay, we get the tired soundbite. Okay, then what? So what do we do about that? You know, we've known for a long time that the most ascendant challenge of the century would be China. So what do we do about it? Whether it's the economic domain, the trade domain, who's going to write the rules of these things? Whether it's military, the prospects for confrontation in the South China Sea, the East China Sea, and beyond. Failure is not an option. Nobody wants World War III. Nobody wants destruction of this planet for 100 years. So there has to be a level of coexistence. Nobody knows what that is because nobody's talking about it. Because you get punished, I guess, if you talk about anything other than a hawkish approach to China, which I get. Anyone who's been steeped in the information about China, where it's going, what its plans and intentions are, would be a little bit hawkish. But we've got to get beyond that. We've got to get beyond what a level of healthy engagement can be, understanding full well that there are dangers and challenges inherent in this relationship going forward. But I will tell you this, the next decade will be absolutely key. I think we're on the front end of what will be a defining decade in the U.S. China relationship. And we need new thinking. So the fact that you are here is terrific. My thanks to you for taking your time. What we want to know, because this is the first time we've ever done anything like this, we being the World Trade Center, and I want to thank the team from the World Trade Center Utah for their excellent work in convening all of this. I want to thank President Tuminez for lending us this outstanding institution and the help and support and the people that have gone with that. This has been absolutely terrific. But I want you to give a little bit of thought to, if we were to do this again, which we want to do next year, what should we do? What should we make of it? What are the issues that we need to tackle? Who are the kinds of people we need to engage? So we're going to make mistakes this round, to be sure, because it's our first go at it. All we know is this issue set is the most important we face as Americans. And whether you're here representing small business, medium-sized, large business, trying to engage in trade, finding it increasingly difficult in a market where winners are routinely picked, and markets sometimes are a bit rigged, whether you're here from academia and have dedicated your life to the subject matter, thank you for that. Whether you're here from legal professions, trying to figure out exactly how we're going to kind of become less entangled in bilateral disputes, this is all about you. So thank you for it. Make no mistake about it, the domains of importance are clear. They are economic, they are trade, they are military, they are political. How we are left standing and what we are thinking and how we have prepared ourselves for the challenge over the next 10 years will be the whole story. So I'll just end with this thought, because sometimes you do things that just blow you away. They remind you of kind of how China has advanced so rapidly over the last little while. I was in Israel last week in my capacity as vice chair of Ford Motor Company. And I got in a driverless car, Chinese car, beautifully designed, styled, and executed. Perfect. With level 4 autonomy. Now, anybody know what level 4 autonomy is? In your car today, you might be driving with L2, maybe L2.5 if you have a really fancy car. Hands off, feet off. It can keep you within the lane, so on and so forth. You don't want to fall asleep, but it does pretty well. Now, just advance that to level 4. This is hands off. This is feet off. This is no driver at all. And if any of you have driven the traffic patterns between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv lately, pretty rough. People running out straight, buses pulling in front of you. Well, this driverless car performed brilliantly on a 45-minute drive between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. And was it an indication to us and most other Western OEMs that China has probably a 5-year lead on our best technology in what could be the most important industrial revolution this country experiences in 100 years, which is a migration from the old to the new, the old internal combustion to electrification. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's happening. And it's going to happen, I think, with greater alacrity as technology allows it to happen. So make no mistake, we're in a technology battle, technology war. The Chinese are playing for keeps. We have every reason to think that we're up to the task, that when given a level playing field, which rarely is the case in the U.S. China trading relationship, we can not only compete, but we can win. So we're here to talk about not just the economics, but we're here to put in perspective the security dynamics as well, which sometimes can be pretty fraught. And the talk can turn to war way too quickly, in my mind. That's giving up. That's not working through potential solutions to figure out how we can coexist, because that will be the recipe for success in the 21st century, figuring out how to coexist. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy the breakout sessions that you're about to jump into. Take notes. Think carefully. Think deeply. Think anew. I mean, dismiss the old conventional wisdom. We've got an important decade ahead of us where we have the most important issue policy set to get right. And it's going to happen right here at UVU. I mean, how cool is that? That's pretty awesome. So thank you. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you around.
Things right. Hook me up a new revolution.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Huntsman. I'd like to remind everybody that, yes, we've heard this insightful conversation all morning about China's position now, but to meet the challenge, we need to continue engagement. And that is why we're all gathered here today to devise ways of continuing that engagement. And I also want to remind everybody that with challenge comes this opportunity for the United States to innovate, for us to become stronger, and to meet this challenge and increase competitiveness in these markets. This is the conclusion of our panels and our public session this morning. I'd like to invite everybody for a break. We're going to be breaking for lunch, and we're going to reconvene at 2 p.m. And there will be UVU ambassadors in green ties who will be directing you to the grand ballroom for lunch. They will also be directing you from this hall back to the Clark building for the breakout sessions. And these breakout sessions, you'll see them here, they will start at 2:15, and they are designed specifically to take a deeper dive into some of these topics that we have presented today, and they will also discuss some of the best practices and actionable insights that you all can take back to your organizations and your companies. I want to thank all of the fantastic speakers that we had today, and most importantly, I want to thank everybody here in person and joining virtually to be a part of this conversation. You've been great. This is such an important conversation to have here in Utah. Thank you again.